Hello, this is Dan Kibbe with Jeet Kune Do Physiology and More. I know I posted several other videos on Jeet Kune Do kicks. This one is actually emphasizing how it's showing that I've evolved over time, as well as being the main key point, conditioning. So I've already done a pretty intense leg training session, which included, I went from regular deadlifts right into pushing myself to do a few squats, front squats, where most people, they cross their arms with the barbell. I just basically held it like this and did squats that way. And then I went right into Romanian deadlifts on the ground to Romanian deadlifts on a stool to maximize my hamstring strength. So I did 2 sets of that. Took a minute rest, did my time and attention, took a minute rest, did some speed training. I've done a few kicks to warm up and whatnot. And so now I'm going to go into the actual training itself. Now, with this specifically, normally, even what I just did, these kicks, a lot of times I would either go for a run and or a bike ride. However, I'm going to do a little bit different today, just for the purpose of changing it up. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to do a little bit of extra type of conditioning, just to show everyone the simple fact that, yes, running is very beneficial. Nothing will ever replace running. I don't care who tries to say, oh, this can replace running, that nothing will. Okay, riding a bicycle has its own benefits. It can substantially increase your VO2 max, or your maximum oxygen output. So there's many benefits to different things. So nothing is going to replace one. You must have a multitude of a variety of different things. So this is just to show you, even if you don't have a whole lot of time, just simply do a few extra things and increase your conditioning. So first off, I'm going to start off with some side kicks, being my favorite kick, of course. I just do kind of a slower movement to start off with for technique purposes. Okay, so remember, hip involvement, hip involvement, hip involvement, hip involvement, and hip involvement. Okay, switch sides. Always want to work both sides. Okay, so I'm doing the right side. Hip involvement, hip involvement, hip involvement, hip involvement, and hip involvement. Now, probably wonder why I keep saying hip involvement. Well, just like I said in previous videos, hip involvement is key for real world power. Unless you involve your hips, you're not going to get the power that you want. You could have the strongest legs, strongest hips. You could be, honestly, a very proficient person at performing kicks. However, if you do not involve your hips, you will not get the true power that you need. You ask anybody who is proficient in martial arts, and they should tell you the same thing. Okay, so just do a few fast movements, and this isn't going to be a whole training session, It's just simply going to be something to help you substantially maximize your conditioning. Okay, so let's do 7, decently fast, not real fast. Okay, so 1, 2, hip involvement, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, the next part of the conditioning aspect, for one, yes, I'm resting for a short period of time to explain. However, you will not be resting, and I won't be either doing the actual training session. So, right from the kicks, next time what I'm going to go into doing is simply, stair steppers, whatever it may be, something I learned in Bruce Lee's training as far as grabbing a chair. If you want details on the height requirements, you can either find it online, or you can actually read his book, Art of Expressing the Human Body. So I'm going to go get to that. Okay, you'd be surprised how good of conditioning, cardiovascular conditioning this can provide for you. First off, definitely in the Halloween spirit. I really like my chair. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to alternate legs. You can do one leg, one leg, one leg for multiple repetitions, or you can alternate legs. I usually mix it up a bit. So, all right, so we're gonna go alternate, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Again, this is not the full training session, so normally you'll be breathing probably a lot harder, feeling it, sweating more, things like that. Okay, so we alternated. Now I'm just gonna go single leg, so up, down, and as you progress, you can go faster too, which that's what we'll do next. Up, down, we'll do 7 total. Set 6, unless I lost count, 7, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we're gonna alternate. We're gonna alternate. We're gonna go a little faster. So go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One thing you definitely want to do is make sure when you come up, keep your back straight. Don't lean forward. Don't lean back. Okay, now we're gonna do single leg, but go faster. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also be careful. Don't want to lose your balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now, depending on how tired or tuckered out you are by now, you can even add more. Okay, so now remember, this is a Jeet Kune Do video, which is martial arts training. So, of course, I'm going to include some other type of martial arts training. So let's go with some kicks. If any of you see my video where I do the clock tower kicks, that is very good conditioning. You do want to start off slower to focus on your technique. Once you get going, you can really increase the intensity and get a very good conditioning training session, especially when added on to something like this. So, we'll do this, again, slow, to get your technique down. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm thoroughly warmed up, so as long as you're thoroughly warmed up, you can go faster sooner. Just base it on your conditioning, on yourself. Again, this is about physiology. It's not about what I can do or what this other person can do. It's about what you can do. That's why it's called physiology. Physiology is how we are different from everyone else. Our anatomy might be almost exactly the same throughout the billions of humans in this world. However, every person's physiology is absolutely different. You could be identical twins, born 1 second apart, exact genetic code or almost exact genetic code, but your physiology is still going to be different, no matter what anybody says. Okay, so now the other side. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can tell this leg's a little bit more tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's 5, 2, 3. I'm trying to do 7. 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I haven't done speed with this one here. We'll just do 1 round of speed. A little bit faster anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now, if you're really brave and or really conditioned, you will even add something else. Okay, so if any of you have seen a video I posted recently, pretty sure it's titled Jeet Kune Do Kicks. It actually is from last summer. However, same concept applies here. I talk about doing plyometrics after and things like that. So there are many types of plyometrics. Some old school, some new school, some created themselves. So yes, I'm outside. It's Iowa. It's a little chilly out here. My body's warmed up. I'm adapted to the cold for the most part. So I'm going to do some jumping squats. So if none of you know what that is, hard for me to get a good camera view out here with the setup. But jumping squats is simply just what it says. You squat, literally squat like you're doing a squat with weights. Okay, so you don't want to have your arms up like this. You literally, you can have, I guess you can have them up like this, but you want to kind of jump. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that for simplistic purposes. So you squat and then jump. Okay, and then when you land on your toes into about a quarter squat position. Okay, so okay, 2. We'll do, just for now, we'll do 11. Where'd I go? Oh, here I am. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, obviously I did more than 11. I did 13. I'm all about pushing myself. So, with that in mind, now to alleviate confusion, I'm sure some of you noticed, it looked like he went down farther than a quarter of a squat. Yes, I'm not very tall, and yes, I did go down more than a quarter of a squat because it's due to flexibility. When I do squats, I go as deep as possible. I recommend, especially if you're a beginner and or some intermediate, depending on the flexibility of your hip flexors, your groin, and whatnot, definitely start with a quarter squat. If you're used to doing deep squats, no problem going as deep as you do on squats. Just be careful and land on your toes. So there's many other things you can add to this, but for purpose of not such a lengthy video, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Again, if you have any questions, comments, please comment below, like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. And if you any other videos you would like or any comments on this, I definitely encourage. Thank you again. This is Dan Kibbe with Jeet Kune Do, Physiology and More. Thank you all.